are dealing with challenges of life, well, today I have come online to release one message that was in my mind for quite some time, and this message is the most precious gift, the most precious gift that you can give to yourself. We are living in a time where people are just not mindful of their behavior. They are not able to consider the impact or a difference that they are making through what they are speaking or through what they are, how they are behaving with others, right? And the behavior is basically a fruit of one person for another person. We get to know and form a basic understanding about who we are associating with by looking at the behavior of a person. And these days people are just behaving randomly without being mindful of the words that they are speaking and the behavior that they are doing to others, right? And mostly that is a negative impact, like they are hurting the other person. They're hurting the other person. So it's like if you are working with some people, or you are friends with some people, they are saying and they are speaking something without being sensitive to who you are emotionally, right? And people are just hurting, and some people are bullied. The more they see that you are hurting, they do that particular thing over and over and over again, so that they can press your triggers, so that they can really see you getting on your nerves. And at that time we are left wounded, and at that time we are left hurt, and there is a lot of resentment and bitterness that comes in our heart because of how the other person behaved with us, right? So the most precious gift that you can give to yourself in such a time as this, where people are not sensitive to the emotional needs of another party, right, is to forgive these people. You heard me, and you heard me. I know what I'm saying. It gives you a further, it's like gives you a cringe. It's like, something that you want to say, okay, what am I saying? And how is this possible? It's just not justified. I understand that you might be responding in this manner inside of you by by receiving this message, but this is the most precious gift, or you can say a sacrifice, that you can do while you are still alive upon the face of the earth, is to forgive these people. Because you have to understand that these people will never come to know how they have hurt you, or they have hurt you so badly, and they will never come forward and apologize, because, or maybe perhaps they will never be ashamed and look for corrections within their soul and within their spirit, to understand that yes, I was wrong. I mean, that itself is a position where you're honest with yourself. And those people who hurt you, they may perhaps not be that honest with themselves. So you cannot spend your life keeping that bitterness and that resentment, and that thing inside of you, and just walking upon the face of the earth. No, you just forgive these people and just give them on to God, and understand that forgiving does not mean going back the same way as the things were before they hurt you, right? It doesn't mean that. It means that no matter how people are gonna behave, that's their choice. Maybe that's their ignorance, okay? I am not affected. I am not letting that garbage come on me right now. And I am choosing to walk in love and forgiveness. And I'm not holding any resentment and bitterness against them or against anybody for that matter. Right? And then God will deal with you and reveal to you the lesson that you had to learn in order for you to have the revelation and the light of the Lord. And then you will be able to learn your life lessons and move on. Mostly what happens is that when we are hurt, we are wishing bad upon that person who have hurt us. I understand it's a process, and then we get into grief after that period of anger, and then we get into denial, and then perhaps we get into denial first. I mean, I understand it's a process, but let God deal with those people who are coming against you for no reason, and they're not able to value and they're not able to see the innocence that you carry. I mean, they perhaps may be judgmental, or perhaps they never questioned their behavior, perhaps they were honest with themselves. I don't know what was wrong with them, but the thing was they did you wrong, and now you are cursing inside of you. You're cursing them, you are holding resentment, bitterness, and that's making your life heavy and hard. And that's not how a life needs to be lived, and that's not why we are alive. There is a purpose that you have to fulfill, and you would not be able to fulfill any purpose or focus where you have to focus by having that level of emotional baggage. So yes, for you, forgiveness, no matter what they did, and I don't care what they did, okay, for you, this forgiveness means your act of self healing. You forgive yourself for, first of all, for not being able to see that that's what their true color was, and that you have to come to terms with, yes, that there are people who are toxic, that you are trusting other people very easily, right? That you are innocent and you need to walk carefully with other people, right? So you need to learn your lessons. You need to be in a position of honesty with yourself, and I know that hurts your ego, and it's okay. Well, if I'm dying to my ego, but at the end of the day, if I'm getting a revelation or a light as to what's wrong with me, then I'm going to die to my ego. That's what I will choose. So that I can be elevated in life, so that I can be healed, so that I can be whole, and so that I can do what I have come here on earth to do with my life. It's precious. See, so much of time has gone by when you're listening to this message. Will that time ever come? No. So you don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be stuck in that frame. You don't want to be stuck mentally, emotionally. You don't want to be walking with baggage and heaviness and depression and suppression. You need to be bold. You need to be courageous. You need to come out of denial. And you need to say to yourself that I also have a right to live. I also have a right to live. Yes, you need to be humble, but you do not need to entertain any false humility inside of you. So one attack on you is going to expose you as well as the other party as to who you are and who they are. Now, I'm not asking you that you go back with the same person who have hurt you, who abused you verbally, sexually, emotionally, and did not care in any shape or form, that you forgive and you get in that lovey-dovey feeling with them, and then you get back with them, right? So they are not the people who will ever come with an apology, and they can't. They don't have the courage. They will never have the courage. Deep down they know they were wrong. Why are you messing with your life? People are going to come, other people are going to come, they're going to mess, but you have to be strong. You have to be good. You have to be humble. You have to see and be open to learn your own life lessons. My life lessons, I tell you what was my life lesson. Perhaps that can give you some consolation. My life lesson was that I was always innocent. I was too good for anyone. They couldn't contain the goodness inside of me. So, if I continue to be good to you, there comes a point after which you just cannot have the pretentious pseudo mask. You just you touch your point with me where you just where the real self has to show up and the true color has to show up. That was my life, and my life lesson was to accept people in their spaces where they are, prisoners of their own mindsets and beliefs, and still appreciate them, leave them there if they were not willing to correct them, and move on. My life lesson was to move on no matter what. No matter what. Right? And I made a conscious choice that if this is how the people are going to behave with me, I refuse to get into depression. I refuse to get into anything that stops me. And that helped me. And I can tell you, forgiveness for me was an act of self-healing. Forgiveness for me, an act of self-healing, and giving those toxic people to God and moving on and discovering and exploring my new self, becoming the new version of myself, not being stuck with these people in emotional space or in mind space or in life in general, right? I don't care where the rejection is coming from. I don't care where the rejection is coming from or where the depression is coming from. Who is not understanding you enough? Who is not able to see the light inside of you? I I don't care. I chose to be honest with myself. I chose to cry openly. I chose to build pick up my pieces again and build myself again. I chose to live, and I chose the death that leads to life. That's, you know, taking a hit on the ego, learning a life lesson, and coming to life. I chose to discover myself. I chose to be self-reliant. I understood interdependence, and I understood independence, and I understood codependency. And I tell you, they're going to learn their own lessons. When and how, you may or may not have a reference point for that, and you should not be taking care of that as well. Forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. That's all you can do. Sometimes the attack is so heavy. Sometimes you get into some wrong people in some way, a shape, or form that you even regret meeting them in your life. But it's all right if they are if I'm bold enough, if I'm able to find the light inside of me, if I'm able to be bold enough to get in my dark spaces and shine the light inside of me, do that discovery, become the new you, and celebrate life, it's worth it. That's all I have to say. Oh, looks like I said something deep, and I said a lot. So I encourage you to watch the video again and again. And it's okay to do some mistakes. It's all right. It's all right to just get down on your knees and acknowledge that your strength is finishing now. Your tolerance is finishing now. And sometimes it's just a hobby of people because they have no other interests. Sometimes it's just a hobby of people to trigger your triggers, okay? And that's what give them the food. That's what give them the food. And when you need your life energy back, and when you need to recharge yourself back, you go pack your bag and travel. You spend your time with plants and learn gardening. You learn to play guitar. You learn and acquire new knowledge or skill. You expand and you increase and you explore. You discover, and that's where you get your life from. You read. But these people, just to see you getting down, feeds them. That's how people can be toxic. It's like they want to eat the flesh out of you. And you were like, what have I done to deserve such a hatred? You don't know. The light inside of you just disturbs the darkness inside of them. The only thing you can do is to forgive. That's the best gift you can give to yourself, and that's the best sacrifice you can do while you are alive on the face of the earth. To humanity, to God. Yes. All right. So I'll see you again with another message as per my leading by God. And till then, be blessed. And I hope you understood something deep that I was trying to say. If not, just let me know in the comments. And if you do have a message, if you do want to say something, I encourage you to leave a comment, share and like this video, and subscribe to the channel. All right, you take a good care of yourself. You are a precious soul, and that is the reason, and that is the only reason you are watching this video right now. Bye.